The two characters reached Wang Lin's ears, and his eyes immediately narrowed. However, at this moment, he had no time for deep contemplation and instead focused entirely on feeling the growth of his spiritual power within. The immense spiritual power erupted from the 10 purple gold soul essences, surging out wildly, following the light beams and rapidly entering Wang Lin's body, roaring through his meridians. Wang Lin felt every pore on his body open up at that moment, as strands of the impure qi hidden deep within his body were swiftly expelled. A light and airy sensation washed over him, like the gentle spring breeze in March, bringing a refreshing feeling as if he were being cleansed of all impurities. After a while, Wang Lin felt that his internal spiritual power had reached saturation and could no longer absorb more. His cultivation, apart from his conceptual realm still remaining at the mid-spirit transformation stage, had already surpassed the middle stage, and he had entered the late spirit transformation stage as a powerful cultivator. For Wang Lin, his conceptual realm had always been immensely powerful. Even in the middle stage, he could contend with the red butterfly in the late stage of her emotionless realm. Now, though his conceptual realm had not yet advanced, with the increase in his spiritual power, his strength had grown substantially. At this moment, if he were to face Red Butterfly again, a battle between them would be countless times easier than before. Red Butterfly, in his eyes, no longer posed any threat. Wang Lin's eyes flickered as he looked around at the purple gold soul essences, his expression thoughtful. Dun Tian glanced at Wang Lin and laughed heartily. Zhang Niu, young friend, have you absorbed enough of this third great gift? Wang Lin remained silent for a moment. The 3 gifts from the primordial ancestor Dun Tian were no simple offerings, but since he had already accepted the gift, he could not refuse. Such tricks of regret were beneath him. However, with Wang Lin's nature, since he had decided to assist, he would certainly not let himself be at a disadvantage in receiving gifts. Senior, I will absorb as much as I can. Is that all right? Wang Lin asked calmly, looking toward Dun Tian. Exactly, Zhang Niu, young friend. Today, I am not stingy with this third gift. Dun Tian laughed loudly and said in a very generous manner. Wang Lin nodded and closed his eyes. This little one's spiritual power is already full, so even if he absorbs more, it won't be much. Dun Tian felt a slight unease when he saw Wang Lin closing his eyes, though he wasn't sure why. True body. Let us absorb together. Wang Lin closed his eyes and silently called within. This call crossed distances, transcending boundaries. At this very moment, deep underground in a valley outside the immortal ruins of the Chu Kingdom, Wang Lin's true body suddenly opened his eyes. At the center of his true body's forehead, 2 purple stars were constantly rotating, slowly shifting. The true body and the clone had long since lost any distinction between them. Both could be said to be Wang Lin. One was the true body, the other the clone. When the two merged, they would be the complete Wang Lin. Through an unusual connection, just as when Wang Lin's clone's cultivation had been abandoned and his essence spirit had collapsed, causing his true body to suffer severe injuries. Now, through this peculiar force, immense spiritual power, with Wang Lin's clone as the conduit, was being absorbed frantically by the true body. The absorption of the true body was far more powerful than that of the clone. After all, the true body practiced the true ancient god art, and the ancient gods thrived on devouring spiritual power. The 10 purple gold soul essences around Wang Lin's clone trembled at once. A massive suction force radiated from Wang Lin's body, and the 10 purple gold light beams suddenly grew several times thicker, drawing more spiritual power into them. This was a transformation from the purple gold soul essences forcibly injecting spiritual power, to Wang Lin now actively devouring it. This shift caused Dun Tian to widen his eyes in shock. The muscles on his face twitched, showing a pained expression. In just 10 breaths, nearly half of the spiritual power from the 10 purple gold soul essences had been absorbed wildly, leaving Dun Tian looking very distressed. He wanted to stop it but sighed inwardly, recalling his earlier boasts. With his cultivation, he could immediately tell that this Zhang Niu had a clone, and now, this act of absorbing spiritual power was being done in conjunction with the clone. The true body of Wang Lin in the Chu Kingdom surged with concentrated spiritual power. Gradually, faint glimmering crystals began to emanate from his body, forming strands of light that enveloped him. After a moment, a massive crystal cocoon appeared. Inside the cocoon, Wang Lin's true body sat cross-legged. A 3rd star point slowly appeared on his forehead, flickering and gradually solidifying. Wang Lin was not a greedy person. At this moment, he opened his eyes and stopped absorbing. Dun Tian let out a deep breath and quickly waved a three-zhong flag. The 10 purple gold soul essences immediately flew into the flag and disappeared from view. Dun Tian gave Wang Lin a wry smile, shaking his head and saying, "Zhang Niu, young friend, you really are not polite." Wang Lin's eyes gleamed brightly. He stood up, feeling the immense spiritual power within him, and turned to gaze toward the direction of the Snow Domain Kingdom, a trace of coldness flashing in his eyes. Wang Lin's personality was extreme. If you didn't provoke him, he would not take the initiative to offend you. But once you struck, he would retaliate tenfold or even 100-fold. He was, after all, the same person who would repay any slight with vengeance. Li Yuanfeng. Wang Lin's coldness faded from his eyes as he looked toward Dun Tian and respectfully clasped his hands, saying, "Thank you for the 3 great gifts, Senior. If there is anything you need, feel free to ask. I will do my best to fulfill it." With Wang Lin's temperament, to say such words, it was clear that he was deeply grateful to the Dun Tian elder. Dun Tian gave a slight smile, and the previous trace of displeasure in his heart vanished like smoke. He did all this just for those words from the other party. "Zhang Niu, my young friend, I offer you 3 gifts. The matter you seek is of great magnitude. Originally, if you hadn't come to my soul-refining sect, I planned to go out and search for you." Wang Lin looked at Dun Tian and smiled. "I have heard rumors before that I supposedly killed a spirit transformation cultivator from the soul-refining sect. That's why you were going to seek me out for questioning." Dun Tian shook his head, smiling. "That was just to mislead others. If I had gone looking for you without cause, it would certainly draw attention. So, I spread the word that you killed a spirit transformation cultivator from my soul-refining sect. This way, when I go to find you, I would have a reasonable excuse, and no one would suspect anything." Wang Lin's gaze flickered. The other party's caution made his intent somewhat inscrutable. Dun Tian looked at Wang Lin, a hint of admiration in his eyes. After a moment, he took a deep breath and slowly said, "Zhang Niu, my young friend, do you know why, after the Vermillion Bird Kingdom has occupied the Vermillion Bird Star for countless years, there are still fewer than 10 level 5 cultivation nations?" He didn't wait for Wang Lin's response and continued, his expression tinged with helplessness. "When the Vermillion Bird Kingdom first arrived at the Vermillion Bird Star, there were 6 sects in the kingdom. Later, the disciples of those 6 sects spread out, forming numerous cultivation nations of various sizes on the Vermillion Bird Star. As for the reward for these 6 sects, it was to let the core disciples of the 6 sects form their own nations and receive a level 5 title. These were the first batch of level 5 cultivation nations, and there were only 6. My soul-refining sect was one of them." Wang Lin remained calm, showing no change in his expression. Dun Tian gazed at the sky and said with a flat tone, as time passed, and countless years went by, whenever a level 5 cultivation nation was about to reach the threshold for a breakthrough, it would be knocked back to its original state overnight. The Vermillion Bird Kingdom would never allow the birth of a second level 6 cultivation nation on the Vermillion Bird Star. My soul-refining sect had 3 opportunities over the years to reach level 6, but every time, they were ruined. Now, we have long since lost our national boundaries and can only exist as a sect." Wang Lin remained silent. Becoming a level 6 cultivation nation was the dream of my soul-refining sect's first-generation ancestor, and it was also the dream of all the generations of soul-refining sect members. Many years ago, when there were no cultivators on the Vermillion Bird Star, the Vermillion Bird Kingdom was still just a level 5 cultivation nation on the 4 sacred stars. Through the unity of its 6 sects and after facing countless hardships, it successfully became a level 6 cultivation nation, freeing itself from the 4 sacred stars and receiving the Vermillion Bird Star from the Cultivation Alliance. Back then, in my soul-refining sect, there were 3 ascendant cultivators, and the other 5 sects also had several ascendant cultivators. The Vermillion Bird Kingdom was so strong, but when it came to the Vermillion Bird Star, they discovered it wasn't a good place. Here, there was a strange race that excelled at using rune power, and they were incredibly powerful. It was a brutal battle, a battle that lasted for countless years. The billion soul banner of my soul-refining sect was forged during this fight. Although we eventually won, the Vermillion Bird Star was severely damaged, and the strength of the Vermillion Bird Kingdom declined drastically. Many of the ascendant cultivators were lost. Because of this, after the 6 sects formed 6 level 5 cultivation nations, the first Vermillion Bird established Vermillion Bird Mountain as the central control point of the entire Vermillion Bird Star. From then on, it became the nightmare of all the level 5 cultivation nations. The mission of each Vermillion Bird was to prevent any level 5 cultivation nation from advancing to level 6. Because the Vermillion Bird Kingdom had yet to recover from the aftermath of that war, the entire Vermillion Bird Kingdom only had 4 ascendant cultivators. How weak we were. He feared that the level 5 cultivation nations would take over. He feared for the survival of the Vermillion Bird Star. Wang Lin remained silent. After a moment, he spoke. Senior, what does all this have to do with me? I'm just a spirit transformation cultivator. Dunqian's gaze sharpened as he looked at Wang Lin and spoke slowly. It has everything to do with you. Oh. Wang Lin raised his head to look at Dunqian. You are one of the 4 Vermillion Bird successors chosen by Yunkazi. Dunqian said slowly. Yunkazi. Wang Lin furrowed his brow. Dunqian flipped his right hand, and in an instant, a wooden sculpture appeared. It depicted a man, tall and handsome, with bright, spirited eyes. It's him. Wang Lin froze, his expression turning strange. This wooden carving was the one he had once made for the disheveled old man who gave him the straw hat. That old man was a transcendent being, and Wang Lin had suspected something back then. Now, he had his answer. He is Yunkazi, the junior brother of the Vermillion Bird. Dunqian gazed at the wooden carving and sighed. This carving you made, it truly resembles Yunkazi. You're giving me 3 great gifts because of him? Wang Lin's expression became even more strange. One part of it. Dunqian lifted his head, his eyes flashing with a peculiar light. Xun'er or Wang Lin, it doesn't matter. My young friend, since my soul-refining sect arrived at the Vermillion Bird Star, we've produced 36 infant metamorphosis cultivators. All their souls are contained within the soul banner. I'm the 37th. My senior brother was the 36th. Wang Lin's expression shifted, and he looked up at the 2 blood rings not far away. Young friend, no need to look. My senior brother passed away 2 years ago when his lifespan ran out. Even the Vermillion Bird itself is unaware of this matter, and it's known only to a few, Dunqian said slowly. Wang Lin remained silent. Young friend, let me ask you this. Are you willing to truly join my soul-refining sect, become its next successor, and swear an oath to comprehend the conceptual realm, with the aim of one day making my soul-refining sect a level 6 cultivation nation? Dunqian's gaze grew even more intense as he stared at Wang Lin, speaking each word deliberately. Why me? Wang Lin did not immediately answer but instead countered with a question. The reason of Yunkazi is part of it, but more than that, it has to do with my senior brother, young Xun'er. My senior brother's concept was not one of offense, but it was the only one of its kind in the entire Vermillion Bird Star. In fact, it is extremely rare even on other cultivation stars, Dunqian said with a hint of reverence in his eyes. His concept was foresight. Originally, he had 100 more years to live, but 2 years ago, my senior brother gave up his remaining lifespan to fully activate his concept and try to find a future path for our soul-refining sect. Unfortunately, in the end, he failed. Wang Lin furrowed his brows, waiting for the rest of the story. If Dunqian was about to say something like his senior brother had foreseen that Wang Lin was the hope of soul-refining sect's future, Wang Lin would never believe such nonsense. Dunqian's gaze grew sharp, his eyes showing a trace of madness, and he continued, although my senior brother failed, the very moment he passed away, you arrived at the gate of my soul-refining sect. Wang Lin froze. It might be a coincidence, or perhaps just my stubbornness, but my lifespan is also nearing its end, and I can wait no longer. I must take this gamble, a gamble that my senior brother's concept was not a failure, but that it brought you here, Dunqian said, a bitter expression crossing his face. Deep down, he already knew that this could very well be self-deception. My soul-refining sect has no successor now. Although I hold the soul banner and am not afraid to face Vermillion Bird, daring to fight him, if I die, the sect will be finished. The soul banner will be taken by Vermillion Bird, and without it, soul-refining sect will perish. Wang Lin pondered for a moment before looking up and saying, if I agree, will the soul banner be given to me? Dunqian ancestor nodded and said, the day my lifespan ends will be the day I pass the soul banner to you. A level 6 cultivation nation. Wang Lin shook his head, smiling bitterly. With my cultivation, this is too difficult. Dunqian sighed and said, young Xun'er, I have only 10 years left to live. In these 10 years, I can ensure your safety. After 10 years, it will be up to you. Whether you succeed or fail, remember my words. Soul Refining Sect has no ill will toward you, and we are granting you the soul banner as a blessing. Keep that in mind. Wang Lin remained silent. After a long while, he nodded and said, "I will do my best." Dun Tian's eyes brightened, and he laughed heartily, clapping his right hand on his storage pouch. Instantly, a golden jade slip flew out and was tossed toward Wang Lin. Our soul-refining sect has no complex rituals. This jade slip contains the soul-locking technique, a method for controlling the billion soul banners. This technique is the core of our sect. From this day forward, you will be the only core disciple of soul-refining sect, Dun Tian declared. Wang Lin caught the jade slip, scanned it with his divine sense, and placed it in his storage pouch. With this matter settled, I must enter seclusion to prepare my soul for being placed in the soul banner 10 years from now. You should not go beyond 10,000 miles of the sect, or if you encounter danger, I may not be able to reach you in time, Dun Tian said in a deep voice. Wang Lin smiled slightly and said, "No need to worry. If I am unable to protect myself, I wouldn't have made it this far. Senior, please enter seclusion. I have some personal matters to attend to. Once I'm done, I will return to Soul Refining Sect before you emerge from your retreat." Dun Tian gave Wang Lin a look, pondered for a moment, then nodded. "Since your resolve is firm, I will say no more. Go ahead." With that, he moved like a streak of light and vanished into the blood rings. Wang Lin gave a respectful fist salute and, with a turn of his body, disappeared in a flash, leaving Soul Refining Sect behind. Under the dark night sky, Wang Lin's figure shot across the heavens like a shooting star. His long hair flowed with the wind, and his eyes gleamed brightly. What Dun Tian had said was not something he fully believed. After all, Wang Lin was no novice to the cultivation world and would not blindly trust such tales of fortune. At his age, and with his experiences, he had encountered far too much. However, this matter could not be easily decided at present. He would wait and see whether Dun Tian would truly give him the soul banner. That would reveal everything. Li Yuanfeng. A flash of killing intent crossed Wang Lin's eyes, and his speed increased even more. 2 years ago, Li Yuanfeng's interference had nearly cost Wang Lin his life and caused a drastic drop in his cultivation. Now that his cultivation had recovered, the first thing he intended to do was kill Li Yuanfeng. Forcefully advancing to the infant metamorphosis stage, Li Yuanfeng is arguably the weakest among those at this stage. My true body has reached the 3-star ancient god level. After merging with my true body, I can fight this person. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and his figure disappeared into the night. 1 month later, outside a valley in the Chu Kingdom, Zhou Ru was playing with Xiaobai, while lay on the ground, and Tai Yin sat cross-legged in meditation. His cultivation was now nearing the spirit transformation stage, and in recent days, he had made many insights, on the verge of crystallizing his own conceptual realm. Suddenly, Lei Wa opened his eyes wide, his enormous gaze directed toward the valley entrance. A young man in white, smiling gently, slowly walked into the valley. The Supreme Path's aura emanating from the pagoda had no effect on him. Zhou Ru rubbed her eyes excitedly, and with a joyful shout, she jumped off Xiaobai and ran toward Wang Lin. "Uncle! Uncle!" she called out in delight. Wang Lin laughed heartily, picked up little Zhou Ru, and looked at Tai Yin. Tai Yin stood up and respectfully said, "I greet my benefactor. Tai Yin, you are on the brink of spirit transformation. Go to the capital of the Chu Kingdom and find a place to stay. Contemplate life. Within 3 years, you will definitely reach spirit transformation," Wang Lin said. Tai Yin's face was neutral, neither joyful nor sad, but his hands trembled slightly as he whispered, "Really? All right." He gave Zhou Ru a long, lingering look, glanced around, and with gritted teeth, his body moved and he vanished from sight. "Uncle, where's the big tiger? You promised me the big tiger when you left," Zhou Ru asked excitedly, holding Wang Lin. Xiaobai, with ears perked, couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement. "Finally, the hard days are over for me. That little demon must have found a new pet. He should release me now," it thought, its heart racing with the thought of a bright future and of the several tigresses in the mountains it hadn't seen in a long time. The big tiger. Wang Lin scratched his nose, realizing he'd forgotten about it. There had been too many events during their journey. Zhou Ru puffed out her cheeks and said, "Uncle, you promised you wouldn't forget." Xiaobai's excitement quickly evaporated, and its spirit sank. It couldn't help but sigh bitterly at its fate. Wang Lin smiled wryly, gently ruffling Zhou Ru's hair. "All right, Uncle's back now. I'll take you somewhere. We'll catch a big tiger for you, okay?" Zhou Ru, with her childlike joy, immediately cheered. "Where? Uncle, are we going to play outside?" "I'm going to find an old friend," Wang Lin said, a flicker of killing intent passing through his eyes. Xiaobai's body trembled, its hopes rising again, this time stronger than before. The two little demons are leaving. Once they do, I'll be free, it thought, its body filled with renewed excitement. Little Ru, enter the pagoda. The place we're going is too far. You'll be safe inside. Be good, Wang Lin instructed. Zhou Ru nodded obediently, her eyes sparkling with excitement. As soon as she heard they were leaving, she was overjoyed. Xiaobai, come with me, Wang Lin ordered. Xiaobai let out a sorrowful howl, its hopes dashed once more. It lowered its head, reluctant, and glanced longingly at the distant mountain forests, as if the tigresses there had been waiting for it. Finally, after a gentle nudge from Zhou Ru, it followed her into the pagoda. Wang Lin formed a seal with his right hand and touched the pagoda. It instantly shrank and landed in his palm, where he carefully stored it. After doing this, Wang Lin took a deep breath. With a stomp of his right foot, a massive force surged from deep within the earth. At the same time, the true body in the jade cocoon underground suddenly opened its eyes. With a single motion, it broke free from the cocoon and shot up from the ground. 3 purple star points rotated in the center of its forehead, emitting an eerie glow. The true body appeared before Wang Lin. The two exchanged a brief glance before they both moved at once, merging into a single being. This was the real Wang Lin. His true body refined the external, while his avatar cultivated internally. A wild, oppressive aura began to emanate from his body. At this moment, the heavens and earth changed color. The sky suddenly flickered with lightning, thunder roaring as it passed. Torrential rain poured down, hitting the ground with a rustling sound. Wang Lin, drenched in the rain, stood like a demon god, gazing toward the Snow Domain Kingdom. Li Yuanfeng of Snow Domain Kingdom, the giant demon ancestor, and those who sealed my grandson Tai while taking advantage of the situation, now that my cultivation has been restored, I, Wang Lin, will settle accounts with all of you for what you did back then. The first to be avenged will be Li Yuanfeng. We'll see if your forceful advancement to the infant metamorphosis stage is stronger, or if my true body and avatar's fusion will prove more powerful. His eyes flickered as he lightly tapped his storage pouch. Instantly, a crystal the size of a fist, glowing with a greenish light, appeared in his hand. This was the very half of the wood spirit he had snatched during his battle with the red butterfly years ago, right under the elder's nose at Vermillion Bird Mountain. The 5 elements, gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, are almost complete in the heavenly reversal pearl. It only lacks the gold spirit and a portion of the wood spirit to be fully perfected. According to what Situ Nan said back then, once the 5 elements are balanced, this pearl will recognize its master and unleash its full power. That day is close. Wang Lin pressed the wood spirit crystal onto the heavenly reversal pearl. The moment they touched, the wood spirit crystal instantly melted and was absorbed into the pearl. In the blink of an eye, the leaf patterns on the pearl began to change mysteriously, unfolding like blooming petals, ultimately reaching perfection. Only the gold spirit remains. Wang Lin's eyes glinted as he gazed in the direction of Snow Domain Nation. He murmured, I'll leave the gold spirit for now. Li Yuanfeng, I, Wang Lin, am coming. He stored the heavenly reversal pearl, leaped onto the thunder frog's head, and grinned. Old buddy, let's go. The thunder frog let out a cheer, leaped, and with a single push of its legs, the ground cracked, and its body shot into the air like a meteor. Wang Lin laughed heartily and tapped his storage pouch. The mosquito beast flew out, immediately letting out a sharp cry and lunging at the thunder frog with its giant mandibles. The thunder frog rolled its eyes, its tongue flicking out like lightning to playfully dodge the mosquito beast. Sitting atop the thunder frog, Wang Lin watched the two beasts play, a faint smile curling at his lips. He lifted his gaze to the direction of Snow Domain Nation, his smile unchanging but laced with an icy coldness. Snow Domain Nation. Once a lush green expanse belonging to the 4 Sects Alliance, it was now a world of blinding white, transformed into a snowfield. The sunlight reflected off the snow, sending piercing beams of light that would cause anyone who stared too long to tear up or even go blind. The mortals living in Snow Domain Nation had developed methods to protect their eyes. As the nation rose to level 5, it gradually grew more prosperous. At the heart of Snow Domain Nation stood the Ice and Snow Temple. This was the holiest place in the nation, and its only infant metamorphosis cultivator, Li Yuanfeng, spent most of his time in secluded meditation here. Ever since being injured by Sun Tai's immortal thunder, Li Yuanfeng's recovery had been slow. After all, He had forcibly advanced to the infant metamorphosis stage, and his body wasn't stable. The fact that he didn't fall back in rank after being wounded was already a stroke of luck. Inside the ice and snow temple, several massive blocks of ice surrounded Li Yuanfeng's body, emitting bursts of immortal qi. But even this wasn't enough to heal him. Over the past 2 years, he had sent people to Vermillion Bird Mountain to contact the Red Butterfly, hoping to obtain some immortal jade to aid his recovery. However, each time, he was turned away at the door. Li Yuanfeng was perplexed, and over time, his suspicion grew, mingled with a touch of resentment. After all, his injury was caused by killing Xun'er, and all of it had been for the sake of the Red Butterfly. Over these 2 years, his injuries had been forcefully suppressed. Based on his calculations, he would need another year or so to fully recover. At the border of Snow Domain Nation, a young man in white slowly walked in. He gazed at the nation, a trace of reminiscence in his eyes. For Sect's alliance. Wang Lin sighed softly, then vanished from his spot. In the capital city of Snow Domain Nation, which had once been the capital of the Four Sects Alliance, there was a street where Wang Lin had left his mark for decades. One day, Wang Lin appeared on this street, looking around at the familiar sights. His mind couldn't help but recall the 3 generations of the Dinyo family. After a long time, a hint of melancholy appeared in his eyes, and he walked off into the distance. Inside the ice and snow temple, Li Yuanfeng was meditating when suddenly, he snapped his eyes open. A glint of sharp light flashed in his gaze as he looked toward the entrance of the hall. Li Yuanfeng. On the cold stone plaza outside the hall, the wind howled, whipping up layers of snowflakes that scattered in all directions. Amid the drifting snow, a phantom figure slowly approached from the distance. The figure grew more solid with each step, and at a distance of about 10 paces from the temple door, Wang Lin's figure materialized. At this moment, Wang Lin's face was cold, his eyes calm. His gaze fell upon Li Yuanfeng, who was staring at him with shock. Li Yuanfeng's eyes widened in disbelief. He stared at Wang Lin, and after a long pause, he spoke in a cold, sinister voice. Xun'er. His expression remained steady, but inside, he couldn't hide his shock. He never expected that the man he had injured with his realm 2 years ago had not only fully recovered, but had surpassed his previous cultivation and now reached the late spirit transformation stage. 2 years, it was but a brief moment for cultivators. For Wang Lin to achieve such an unbelievable breakthrough in this short time, how could Li Yuanfeng not be astonished? At that moment, 3 shadowy figures suddenly appeared in the hall, standing between Li Yuanfeng and Wang Lin. The 3 figures were elderly, 2 men and 1 woman. How dare you invade the ice and snow temple of my Snow Domain Nation? One of the elders shouted loudly. Xun'er. The old woman's gaze turned cold as she fixed her eyes on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was icy as he took a step forward. Boom! A massive sound erupted, and where Wang Lin stepped, countless cracks suddenly appeared, rapidly spreading forward, and within moments, they extended throughout the great hall. Shatter! Wang Lin muttered softly. In an instant, with a thunderous roar, half of the entire hall collapsed, turning to ash and dissipating into the air. The 3 elders' expressions changed drastically as a powerful force immediately swept them back, sending them retreating in all directions. One of the elders, his eyes filled with disbelief, stared at Wang Lin and exclaimed, "Could it be? You've reached the infant metamorphosis stage?" Wang Lin didn't even glance at the 3 of them. His gaze was fixed solely on Li Yuanfeng, and his body moved forward, faster than lightning, heading straight for him. The 3 elders immediately shouted and moved to block his path, appearing in front of him in an attempt to stop him. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with coldness, and as he took another step forward, he appeared before one of the elders. With a swift motion, his right fist swung and struck the elder's chest. Boom! The elder's chest caved in deeply, blood spurting out as his body was sent flying like a meteor, crashing far away, dead on impact. Even his essence spirit failed to escape in time and was shattered by the force of the blow. This was the power after the fusion of his true body and his clone. An elder at the mid-spirit transformation stage, 1 strike, and he was dead. The other 2 elders, shocked, immediately halted in their tracks. Wang Lin didn't even glance at the remaining 2. He continued forward, heading straight for Li Yuanfeng. Li Yuanfeng's expression darkened. With his hands forming a seal, he pointed to the 8 giant blocks of ice around him. In an instant, these blocks moved and surrounded his body, forming a protective barrier. Wang Lin snorted coldly and threw a punch, which struck the ice blocks. Boom, boom. A series of earth-shattering sounds echoed across most of Snow Domain Nation. The ice surrounding Li Yuanfeng instantly cracked, shattering into countless shards that shot out in all directions. The immense force caused half of the ice and snow temple to collapse entirely. As the ice shattered, Li Yuanfeng's figure suddenly surged out, floating in midair, his long hair swirling without wind. He glared at Wang Lin and shouted, "Zheng Miao, you're dead today." Wang Lin looked up at Li Yuanfeng floating in the air, his voice calm as he spoke, "Today, I will refine your soul." Li Yuanfeng formed a seal with his hands, and a giant T-mark appeared in front of him. He shouted and pushed forward, causing the T-mark to fall towards Wang Lin with incredible speed. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with battle intent. His right fist clenched, and in a flash, he swung it forward, colliding with the T-mark in midair. Boom. The T-mark instantly collapsed. Li Yuanfeng's body seemed to be struck by a powerful force, and he was pushed back more than 10 zhang, his face dark with shock and disbelief. Wang Lin's body slid back 3 steps on the ground, each step causing the stone surface to crack into countless shattered fragments. Their battle had already caught the attention of all the cultivators in Snow Domain Nation. Within the boundaries of the nation, aside from the elder who had already died and the 2 present, there were 17 spirit transformation cultivators in total, all of whom rushed towards the battlefield with incredible speed. To them, Li Yuanfeng was the sect leader of Snow Domain Nation. As long as he was alive, the nation was secure. But if he died, Snow Domain Nation would no longer have any infant metamorphosis cultivators for a long time, leading to the nation's imminent collapse. In the blink of an eye, all the spirit transformation cultivators arrived. Without a word, they immediately took out their magic treasures and were about to unleash their attacks. Wang Lin's eyes remained calm, and he simply spoke one word, "Scram." The word, though initially weak, exploded like thunder, reverberating in the air as if the wrath of heaven itself had descended. Scram, scram, scram. The sound was deafening, spreading through the heavens and the earth, as if the fury of the ancient gods was being unleashed for the first time. The sky above shattered, and countless space cracks appeared, as if the world itself was on the verge of collapse. The earth beneath seemed to tear apart like white paper, emitting a series of cracking sounds as deep, unfathomable chasms appeared instantly. The heavens and earth crumbled. The spirit transformation cultivators, who had been preparing to strike, were all thrown back, their bodies as if struck by a mighty force. Blood sprayed from their mouths as they rapidly retreated, their faces pale with fear, unable to make another move. The might of a single word. Wang Lin took a deep breath. The fusion of his true body and clone had created a mutation, an unprecedented power in the history of the world. At this moment, he was like a 3-star ancient god at the late spirit transformation stage, possessing the concept of life and death. He was also like a late spirit transformation cultivator with the body of a 3-star ancient god, capable of controlling the concept of life and death. Li Yuanfeng's face was extremely grim as he stared at Wang Lin. For the first time, he truly regarded this person as a real opponent. Just now, the force of Wang Lin's single word was no less than that of an infant metamorphosis cultivator. The spirit transformation cultivators from the Snow Domain Nation all retreated, their earlier arrogance replaced with fear. This stark contrast filled many with bitterness and dread toward Wang Lin. A single word's power was already equivalent to that of an infant metamorphosis cultivator. Wang Lin moved, and as his feet shifted, his body instantly rose into the air, punching toward Li Yuanfeng. The punch hadn't even reached him yet, but the air around it already whistled with the force of breaking through space. Li Yuanfeng, let's settle the matter from 2 years ago today. Wang Lin's cold voice echoed as his figure flashed before Li Yuanfeng, his fist crashing down. Li Yuanfeng's gaze darkened, and he retreated quickly. He slapped his storage pouch, and a small black leather drum appeared in his hand. The moment he touched it, it emitted a strange thudding sound, not like a drumbeat, but more like the rhythmic pounding of a heartbeat. As the sound echoed, Wang Lin immediately felt his heartbeat being drawn by a mysterious force. His expression remained unchanged, his eyes cold, and with a grunt, he didn't hesitate to strike with his right fist. Li Yuanfeng's face changed, and the sound of the drum grew louder and faster. Wang Lin growled, and the strange force pulling at his heart shattered. With a powerful punch, he struck the drum. Boom. Li Yuanfeng staggered back, the drum shattered, turning to ash. Wang Lin's expression remained stern as he pressed forward. Li Yuanfeng, is this the strength of the infant metamorphosis stage? Wang Lin pursued relentlessly, his voice cold. Li Yuanfeng glared at Wang Lin, retreating as he let out a low growl. He quickly formed a hand seal and pressed it to his chest. A beam of crystal light shot out from his mouth. The light instantly expanded, transforming into a towering ice and snow giant nearly 10 zhang high. As Li Yuanfeng moved, his body vanished into the giant. The giant roared, its voice reverberating through the heavens, shaking the surroundings with a thunderous rumble. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. The giant resembled the magical artifact Red Butterfly had used in the past, though slightly smaller in size. With a thunderous roar, the giant stomped forward, charging at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's gaze flickered with a strange light. The strength of his ancient god physique had only been slightly weakened in his battle against the celestial messenger, but now, facing this giant, Wang Lin laughed loudly and surged forward, colliding with the giant. Bang! 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 The sounds of their fists colliding echoed fiercely, the earth cracking with every exchange. The sky seemed to tear apart, as though on the brink of collapse. With every punch he threw, Wang Lin's gaze grew colder. The strength of his ancient god body was already incomprehensible. He felt no pain. Each punch only made him feel a slight itch. In contrast, the giant Li Yuanfeng had summoned seemed to suffer with each blow. After every punch, cracks appeared on its body, and with each strike, the giant would roar and retreat. Li Yuanfeng, today you will die. Wang Lin roared, his fist crashing out. Boom. Li Yuanfeng staggered back again, his body increasingly covered in fractures. Shatter. Wang Lin shouted, his body slamming forward as he struck the giant's chest. The giant's body creaked and cracked, chunks of ice falling off until it finally collapsed. Li Yuanfeng spurted out a mouthful of blood, flying out from the wreckage. His eyes burned with fury as he stared at Wang Lin and growled, Zheng Niu, if not for my injuries not fully healed, you would never have humiliated me like this. But enough. I will sacrifice my cultivation to kill you today. The divine abilities of infant metamorphosis cultivators, besides their conceptual realms, relied heavily on immortal power. Li Yuanfeng's eyes darkened. His hands formed a seal in front of him, and a strange force erupted from his body. Transparent tea leaves appeared around him, each leaf glimmering with crystal clarity, releasing a strange fragrance into the air. Materialization of the conceptual realm. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. When he had been affected by Li Yuanfeng's tea-infused conceptual realm, a thought had crossed his mind. Infant metamorphosis cultivators could likely make their concepts solidify, no longer just ethereal. Seeing Li Yuanfeng's attack now, that guess was confirmed. The reason Wang Lin had come to find Li Yuanfeng wasn't just for revenge. It was also to prepare for his own advancement into the infant metamorphosis stage. At his current level, comprehending the celestial Tao was one way to advance, but battling an infant metamorphosis cultivator would provide him with more insights. Moreover, there was another reason for Wang Lin's visit to the Snow Domain Nation. The clues related to the severed arm phantom claiming to be Situnan. Staring at the tea-infused conceptual realm surrounding Li Yuanfeng, Wang Lin took a deep breath. His essence spirit within his ancient god body immediately spread out, communicating with the heavens. In that instant, the sky, previously sealed by Li Yuanfeng, seemed to be torn open by an invisible hand, creating a gap from which a grayish light erupted, rushing outward. The gray light grew more and more intense, and eventually, a massive scroll that took up nearly half of the sky suddenly appeared. The scroll of life and death reincarnation. If the clone merges with the true body, would the concept also undergo a change? Wang Lin thought back to the time when he battled the cycle of reincarnation, when an illusory shadow had formed behind his true body. His mind stirred, and in an instant, 3 star-like dots, which had fused and disappeared earlier, rapidly reappeared at his forehead. They spun quickly, and immediately after, a gigantic figure slowly emerged behind him. The illusory figure stood tall, with its head in the sky and feet on the ground. Upon its appearance, it immediately stretched out both arms, grabbing hold of the scroll of life and death reincarnation high in the sky and spreading them wide. This strange sight left Li Yuanfeng dumbfounded, staring blankly at the sky. He couldn't speak for a long time. Though he had known for a long time that Zheng Niu's concept was related to life and death, seeing the giant's illusory form suddenly made his heart waver. What kind of concept is this? Wang Lin took a deep breath. He hadn't expected that the illusory form of the ancient god could merge so perfectly with the clone's concept. With a thought, he pointed at Li Yuanfeng with his right hand. The massive illusory figure in the sky shook the scroll in its hands, and suddenly a gray mist spread out from it, forming a translucent apparition that resembled a messenger of the heavenly Tao. The apparition's face was unclear, and its entire body was made of gray mist. Upon its appearance, it immediately flew downward, charging straight at Li Yuanfeng. A sense of danger, one reminiscent of when Sun Tai had chased him with celestial thunder, surged within Li Yuanfeng's heart. Without hesitation, he shouted, T-Realm. Immediately, the T marks around him expanded, transforming into rotating tea flowers. The air around him became thick with a strange fragrance. As the gray mist apparition rushed in, it collided with the T marks. In an instant, the apparition vanished silently, but the T marks shattered in response. The collapse was instantaneous. In the blink of an eye, every T mark around Li Yuanfeng vanished as though they had never existed, and the surrounding concept also disappeared without a trace. At the same time, Wang Lin felt his essence spirit weaken, as if some force had been drained from him. The scroll of life and death reincarnation in the sky dissipated, and the enormous illusory figure slowly faded as well. Li Yuanfeng's face turned pale, and his body swayed as he spat out a large mouthful of blood. You're not in the late spirit transformation stage. Your concept has actually reached the infant metamorphosis stage. Li Yuanfeng stared at Wang Lin, his face pale, but his eyes were filled with madness. Immortal power. Li Yuanfeng disregarded the injuries suppressing him internally and activated his immortal power. A piece of immortal power crystal appeared in his hand, and streams of immortal power surged wildly within his body. Being able to absorb and use immortal power was the hallmark of the infant metamorphosis stage. At this moment, Li Yuanfeng released all the immortal power within his body. A massive pressure poured out, surging from his body. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he patted his storage pouch, and immediately, the soul banner appeared in his hand. A shake of the banner caused countless souls to scream as they rushed out, forming a thick black mist before him. At the same time, the forbidden banner appeared in his other hand, and with each swing, waves of restriction chi roared forth. From a distance, Wang Lin's body was entirely surrounded by a rotating black fog, resembling a hurricane. Li Yuanfeng glared at Wang Lin, revealing a sinister smile. He made a hand seal, and instantly, fist-sized ice spheres appeared around him. This was a simple spell that nearly every snow domain cultivator knew. However, at this moment, these ice spheres contained enough power to destroy the heavens and earth. Zhengniu, die. Li Yuanfeng roared as he thrust both hands forward, causing the ice spheres around him to tremble and fly wildly toward Wang Lin. As soon as the souls and restriction chi came into contact with the ice spheres, they didn't even slow down, instantly dissipating into blue smoke. Wang Lin's eyes flashed brightly. He could sense that each of these ice spheres contained immortal power, though in small amounts. Let's see how powerful these ice spheres are with a touch of immortal power. With a sudden movement, he shot out of the black mist like lightning, letting out a low growl. His right fist collided with one of the ice spheres. Boom. The earth-shattering explosion reverberated across the entire snow domain nation, and neighboring countries felt the immense sound echo through the air. The ground in the snow domain nation cracked wildly, and the thick snow collapsed. Wang Lin quickly retreated, his right fist slightly trembling. Frost appeared on his fist, but vanished in an instant. If I reach the infant metamorphosis stage, I can control immortal power. If the soul banner absorbs immortal power, the power of the souls within it will undoubtedly increase greatly. Similarly, the forbidden banner's restriction chi will contain immortal power. These two magical treasures will be many times stronger than before. Even the immortal sword, when infused with immortal power, will unleash incredible might, far surpassing its previous power. In this moment, Wang Lin eagerly anticipated the arrival of the infant metamorphosis stage. His eyes glowed with intense light. Zhengniu, die for me. Li Yuanfeng's eyes were bloodshot, veins bulging on his face, which twisted into a grimace. Yet his body trembled slightly, a clear sign of his immortal power being overdrawn. After all, he hadn't cultivated to the infant metamorphosis stage on his own. Even though he was forcing himself to increase his power, the immortal power he could wield was still too limited.